All right, so I'm gonna talk about how you can buy a property without raising any money, without having to ask investors or having to use any of your own money. I've done a video before on how to buy a property without any money in your pocket. Go check that out in my YouTube videos, and hopefully there's a link below it right now so you can go check it out. On that one, you gotta go raise money from other people, right? You find the property and you need the down payment, the carry costs, you call some people, you call some investors, and they bring the money and you're able to buy the property with no money out of your pocket. I just gave you the big picture from my other video. But in this video, I'm gonna show you how you don't even need to call anybody, any investors, for them to bring you any money to buy an apartment building with no money out of pocket, okay? So I'm actually gonna take a real situation. I'm gonna manipulate the numbers a little bit, but I'm gonna use a real life situation. I'm not gonna tell you which property it is just yet, but I will start with the example, okay? We're currently doing this right now. So we are buying a property for $5,400,000, give or take a few dollars, okay? Now, all right, the bank is gonna give us like 85% loan to value. That is crazy. Why are they giving us such a good deal? Because as this property sits, we just got the appraisals, they're getting done, okay? We're gonna be about 7.1 million plus. That's the as-is value. Okay, as-is value, 7.1 million. Honestly, it can come in as high as 9 million. They're waiting for another property to sell, and once that one sells, depends on the cap rate, this one could shoot up to 9 million, maybe 8 million. Worst case scenario, we're at 7.1, right? We already know that. So the bank's like, hey, we want your business. We're gonna give you an 85% loan to value, which basically means they're gonna lend me 85% of 5.4 million, okay? So how much money do I need to bring to the table, all right, to close on this property? I'm gonna do 5.4 times 15%, because that's my down payment. I gotta bring in $810,000. That's what I have to bring into the table. Okay, so check this out. This is what I did. I said, hey, Mr. Seller, I love your property. You know what, but 5.4 million, we were negotiating. I said, I don't think I can do that. How about I would need it for 4.5 million, but I'm not sure that you let it go for that price. Would you? And then you stay quiet. Right? He laughed, et cetera. He said, you know what? No, I'm set on, he wanted more. He wanted like 6.2. He's like, I'm set at 6.2, but I can negotiate a little bit. Negotiated at 5.4, and then we asked him, if we get you, $4 million, would you be willing to carry 1.4 million? As a note, maybe not on the property, but just like as a personal note, right? And he said, you know what? I'm up for that. So as of now, we actually got him to carry 1.1 million. He will carry up to 1.4, right? We're just negotiating the other 300 or 400K, right? He might carry 1.5, but right now we agreed he would carry 1.1 million. So what does this mean, right? Like, what does this mean? What does it mean carry? What does all that stuff mean? I'll tell you right now, okay? So basically what's gonna happen is we're gonna get a loan, okay, for 85% on 5.4 million, which is 4,590,000, okay? We have to pay the seller 5.4 million for his property, right? So I have to pay the seller $110,000. Okay, so when you add $810,000 plus 4,590,000, okay, that comes out again to the 5.4, right? So this number matches this number, Okay. But the seller's carrying 1.1 million. Okay. So let's do it again. Let's run these numbers again. If I only need to bring $810,000 and the seller's giving me 1.1 million, that means at closing, there is $290,000 left over that the seller is bringing. Because he's bringing 1.1. This goes to the bank as a down payment, and there's still a balance of $290,000. So when I buy this property, I'm going to collect a check of $290,000. Okay? How much money out of my pocket am I going to spend to buy this property? Zero. Right? I'm actually going to make close to $300,000 as soon as I close on this. I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to call any of my investors on my list. I didn't have to call anybody to raise any money on this project. Okay? So, I'm buying this project. I will own 100% of this whole building. Now, we're still not done with it. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe I need to raise $500,000 because they're going to give me some rehab money too. So maybe they give me $1 million rehab. The bank gives me $1 million rehab. But what if my rehab is 1.5 or 1.7, right? We're still working that out. If there's a little bit of overage, then I might have to raise some money. But for this case, this scenario, you know, if everything falls under $1 million rehab, because the bank's going to give me $1 million in rehab, up to $1 million. So as long as we're under $1 million in rehab, I don't have to raise any money. When I close, I have $290,000 in my pocket, or maybe more. If he decides to carry 1.5, right, I might have an extra $400K. I might have $690,000 at the closing table to buy a property that's worth $70 million at 5.4. Now that is crazy, okay? But it is doable, right? I did this quite often when I used to buy single family homes. Well, I'm gonna tell you how we structured it for the seller, okay? For you guys out there, I'm gonna get my calculator here ready. For you guys out there thinking, okay, how do you structure this for the seller? So I basically told the seller, Mr. Seller, carry 1.1 at 4% interest, right? But it's interest only, I owe. I have to pay him 4% a year, interest only. Man, that's like free money. 4%? That is really good. And I did a 5-year term, right? In 5 years, I got to pay him back his 1.1 million. In 5 years, I've already sold this park. I've already made it nicer. It's going to be worth 11 million, at least 11 million. I can refinance in 5 years. I can sell in 2, I can sell in 3. I have a lot of time to get him back his $1.1 million. So what's the payment? What's 4% of 1.1? Let's find out. And I'm going to ask you a question, right? That's $44,000 a year, right? It's $36,000 a month. I mean, $3,600 a month, $3,666, okay? This is my monthly payment for the seller. How many of you out there would borrow $1.1 million at 4% interest, right? That's a great rate. That's like going to the bank and saying, hey, Mr. Bank, I need a loan for I just need a line of credit for 1.1 at 4% interest only for 5 years. That is a great loan. So if you don't know that, I'm telling you, that is really good and you should do it. Anytime you get this opportunity, go for it. If you don't have the down payment, ask the seller, hey, are you willing to carry a note, right? For 20%, 25%, 30%, whatever the hell you can do. If he would have done 5%, I would have been happy with 5%. I'm happy that he did 20%, right? He's doing 20% carry on the purchase price. That is perfect. That is great. It saves me a lot of time and energy from having to go raise money going to have to ask my investors for 1.1 million at maybe 8% interest, right? Right? That's not bad. Go raise some money for 8%, 10%. That's what I would have to go do. But right now, I pretty much got money at half the cost. For 5 years, a lot less risk. And I'm pretty excited about this project. And I will follow up in the next video about how all this worked out. But you can buy a property with no money out of pocket and without having to raise any money from any investors. I'm Javier Hinojo. We'll see you soon. And don't lose your shirt.